Thursday, January 2nd, 2020. Bitcoin prices have broken below our little wee top formation just as our indicators were pointing out. And I think we've got a lot more downside coming. And that's what it's going to be on this episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin. First, let's start off with a focus on the 1, 2, 3 top formation that broke down here. And I want to point out that the exponential moving average crossed over right here at the pretty much the same time as the conversion line dropped below the baseline here on the Ichimoku cloud. The one interesting thing for me is that Bollinger Bands are down at a mean reversion buy signal. And especially with our new indicator pointing out a buy signal at this very spot, I want to jump into all of our indicators now and really take this apart and see what this is telling us. All right, we can whiz through the weekly details and see that the relative strength index is still continuing that downtrend. Should it break any lower than this on the weekly view, that's very bearish. On the weekly view of the on-balance volume, we're not going into a bullish buying phase here before the takeoff at all. In fact, we have more selling coming in. When we look at the weekly MACD indicator, it's still decidedly on the downtrend. It hasn't crossed over to show that we're going positive. We're really not seeing the histograms shortening up a great deal to show that there's a divergence setting up. So that's pretty bearish. As we go into the weekly view of the Ichimoku cloud, we are now below the cloud and the cloud is coming to twist negative for the first time. The blue line is trending downward, not approaching back towards the red line. This is all bearish. And when we go into the weekly view of the Bollinger Bands, it is below the midline, and that has been a sure bearish sign all the way through since the beginning of Bitcoin. If we're below this midline band, it's bearish. If we get up above it, it's bullish. And so by our weekly indicators on all accounts here, it's bearish, which means we have more downside to go at the minimum, and maybe the lucky part will be sideways. It looks like we will be coming back to retest this long 200 period moving average. Let's jump in and zoom in on the charts now to see what they're telling us at the closer time frames. So with my initial bearish view of the relative strength index, what we're going to zoom in here for now is to see when can we identify exactly the break in this and when can we see that it might be bullish. We can't be bullish in my own view until this relative strength index starts to break above these levels. I like that we have higher lows all the way along here in the relative strength index on this time frame for the daily view. So we do have a hidden bullish divergence here, and we have a straight out just bullish divergence setting up here. So should our RSI get back up above these levels as prices are coming back up to test this, that will really change the whole song right there. But should we continue further downward underneath these levels, we're back in the same old bear song. Now, as I go into the on-balance volume and I'm looking for a bullish divergence with dumping and less dumping, I'm kind of seeing it here, but I really see just a steady stream of dumping, and I don't see this turning around to give us bullish signals yet. The daily MACD is dangerously close to crossing and that histogram going to negative. So that would be a confirming bearish indicator right there. With these lower lows going on right here and across to the negative, there's confirmation of further down to go. Of course, you may know that we've been watching the Ichimoku cloud for the sell signal in the downtrend all the way along this. And as we've come in, we identified several days ago that it crossed bullish, but we're watching now for the blue line to cross below the red line as it's coming up and testing this cloud and failing, giving us this 1, 2, 3 top formation right there. Now we're breaking below it. As the blue line crosses that red line, that is another sell signal in the Ichimoku downtrend, confirming more bearish indication. Now the daily view on the Bollinger Bands isn't as useful to me right now. If you've got some additional insight about the Bollinger Bands, let me know. I'd love to hear your comments down below. Now let's quick up the pace a little bit, zoom into the 12-hour time frame, and the things I'm looking for now is just confirmation of this top formation and everything coming down. Now let's quickly go into the 4-hour time frame, and what I'm watching for is to begin down to a super oversold territory. Let's zoom into the 1 hour time frame. I do have an alert set so that when we get down to that level, it sends an alert to our Discord chat, and you get these free alerts too. All the stuff that I'm talking about in this Bitcoin stream has been set up more and more into different alerts that come through to our Discord chat for free. So come and join us for our free Discord chat. A quick look at the 12-hour time frame for the on-balance volume. We can see that we have been getting less and less selling going on here so far, but we're nowhere near in terms of getting ready for the bull market to be hitting us. We don't have that volume sustained, soaking up all of the disbelievers yet. It looks like we're heading down from here, just from this volume pattern. As I move out to the 12-hour MACD, as I zoom in on this and pay close attention, we can see that it crossed to the negative right there. And if I just quickly go to the 4-hour time frame, we see it's almost the very same moment that crossed over. And for me, this is very strong bearish confirmation, especially when we're seeing this flare out wider here. You know, this is accelerating downwards now. Let's take a look at the Ichimoku cloud, because in the 12-hour time frame, the blue line is crossed below the red, and we're going back down through the cloud. So this is another sell signal in the Ichimoku downtrend, especially when we combine it with that 1, 2, 3 top formation. All of the indicators are lining up for down. I'm just going to take a quick look at the 4-hour time frame to see where this crossed over in relation to the 12-hour. Definitely bearish, definitely bearish. Now, if I go into the 12-hour time frame for the Bollinger Bands, this is the only one that gives that contrarian entry signal right there as we're coming down way past the 3rd standard deviation. It's a potential mean reversion buy signal. And we can see here from this indicator, it gives us a sell signal when we hit this level, take partial profits here, take the rest of our profits, and gave us a buy signal at this time. So now let's take a look at another reason I think prices are going down and very sharply, and it's going to be painful, is because of the number of longs in the market right now. This is the number of shorts in the market right now. This is US dollar longs. Let's take a look at euro dollar longs. They're up, but not nearly as bad from September till now. Like, they've increased even though prices have been coming back. Everybody's expecting the halving is going to make things go crazy. Now, look at the Japanese longs also picking up. And so we can see that even though prices have come back, the social media, the news, the belief in the industry is that prices are going up. And of course, I want the longs to be right. I would like to have Bitcoin prices go up. And yet, as they are proven wrong, and the crowds normally are, there are two factors that are going to be working against the prices. First of all, the line of least resistance is down. Prices are going down. There's a bunch of selling going on. Overall, we can see in the on-balance volume, selling is the predominant force. The second force that we're going to have is those people being wrong and having to close their positions against their will. This is going to cause a very sharp spike down, followed by an immediate and strong move up. And to finish up, while we are still looking at an essentially bearish setup with a bullish divergence at the bottom, the main thing that many of my audience is interested in is what is going to go on with the altcoins. Here we are looking at Bitcoin dominance, and it's making an enormous top formation that's taken more than 6 months to develop. And I believe that as this starts to go down further, this is the sign of altcoins taking off. If you are not investing as much in your cryptocurrency education as you are paying in your trading fees, if you're not investing as much in your trading education as you are paying in losses, I invite you to review that and put more money into education yourself, not just from these YouTube videos, but deeper research. I invite you to click on the link in the description down below and really get to know more about what our Bull Market Watch spreadsheet is doing for our followers. And that wraps it up for today's episode. Tomorrow we'll focus more on the short-term time frames and how do we tell if this is going to be breaking further down from here, or are we going to find support in these levels? We'll really take a close look at our bullish divergences at these levels, in addition to these mean reversion swing trade entry that we got from our Bollinger Bands here today. That'll be in tomorrow's episode, and I look forward to seeing you there on the next episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin.